This is the newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, a search is ongoing for 4 missing Guyanese fishermen in Surinamese waters. The government is exploring the use of ankle bracelets to tackle domestic violence. Movable properties can now be used for loan security as Collateral Registry opens. The finance minister says Guyana continues to show growth without precedent worldwide. And in sport, Quentin Sampson among 6 Guyanese drafted for Dhabi T10, and the Elite League generates over 40 million content views. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. Thank you for joining us. First up, a search is ongoing for 4 Guyanese fishermen who went missing several days ago while in Surinamese waters. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa told reporters at an event in Region 5 on Wednesday that Surinamese authorities have deployed patrols and helicopters in search of the missing men. Mustafa said the government is deeply concerned about the situation.
Would have lost at the sea. Presently, I don't know what are the circumstances. I have spoken to our ambassador to get some more information. Hopefully by the end of today I can get more information. But according to general information out there, they left on a fishing trip and their vessel started to take in water, and as a result of that I understand also through that general information that they sent out a distress call, or they made a few distress calls, and then nobody saw them afterwards. So we are very concerned because generally whenever our fisher folks encounter difficulties like those, we tend to work along with our Coast Guard, work along with the other agencies so that we can try as much as possible to locate them. However, this incident took place in Suriname waters, and I'm hoping that the Surinamese authority, because I have also seen news that the Surinamese authority have sent out their patrol vessels and also helicopter to look for these guys. I am hoping by the end of today I can get some more information from our ambassador over there, and then I can put out an official statement from the Ministry of Agriculture. But it's very unfortunate, and we are hoping that the crew for that vessel can be found, find them alive and bring them back to shore safely. So I'm very optimistic that can happen.
Mister, could you say if they live in Guyana, as far as you know, or they were living in Suriname?
I can't say. I think they were living in Suriname, but I have to confirm that. Right?
The government is considering the use of electronic ankle monitoring devices and implementation of a panic app to better protect victims of domestic violence. In an exclusive interview with the newsroom, Minister of Home Affairs Onaj Waldron said the initiative is part of broader national efforts to strengthen protection, accountability, and support for victims.
A decade or so ago, you ask a police person how do you treat with a domestic violence situation. It's done very glibly because it's all seems to be all part of the fabric of society. Now we have targeted interventions to teach and train police officers who are specifically trained to deal with domestic violence situations, to have them more sensitized in that regard. But we still continue to grapple with it. In my view, the laws, perhaps you have to look at more in terms of monitoring, because there is the issue of a violation of the protection orders. The protection orders would normally say, well, you're not allowed to go within 500 yards of this person. And when you see the person complaining, the victim complain, is like, well, the court made the order and he's still violating. We're looking at the same technology, the ankle bracelet, where they're monitored. So if the person comes within the distance that is the prohibited, the alarm goes off, that you could see that he is in proximity to the victim, and that removes the need for her to run to a police station and to make a report, to try to get an arrest warrant, removing the burden from the victim. There was also, we looked at the possibility and we'll explore the possibility of an app, a panic app that is operates like a 911, where she can press that panic button if she is in, he or she, because it's not only women that are victims of domestic violence, they are also, where the victim feels threatened and can press the panic button that is not tied to data. That is operates just like a 911 number. So we're looking at the other interventions. As you will notice, these are interventions that are oftentimes social in nature, not only police, but it's really a multi-stakeholder issue to deal with violence arising out of domestic situation.
We tell you now that the newly established Collateral Registry is now fully operational, marking a major step in transparency and security in the local financial and business sector. This was announced by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal during his weekly Issues in the News program. With this new registry, individuals and businesses can now use movable properties such as vehicles as collateral when seeking loans or credit. This includes transactions traditionally executed through hire purchase agreements, bills of sale, or other forms of credit sales.
And this new legislation allows a modern framework to be established. It provides for the establishment of a special registry within the Deeds and Commercial Registry called a Collateral Registry. And these credit instruments are filed as of record at this registry. And as I said, this legislation allows for persons to take out credit or buy these movable properties on credit using the very movable properties or other movable properties as collateral. That registry was not up and running because of some technical difficulties. I am pleased to announce that as of today, the registry is up and functional, and bankers, retail suppliers, automotive dealers, and all those businesses engaged in selling movable property on credit can now have access to this collateral registry and file the requisite instruments which they will decide to use to secure their credit.
The International Monetary Fund has reaffirmed that Guyana remains the fastest growing economy in the Western Hemisphere, a distinction that Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh says reflects the strength and transformation of every sector of the economy. Lizina Yearwood has more.
Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh on Tuesday said that the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has reaffirmed that Guyana remains the fastest growing economy in the Western Hemisphere. Speaking at the launch of the World Trade Center, Georgetown, Dr. Singh described Guyana's economic expansion as unprecedented, noting that the IMF's latest regional economic outlook projects the country will continue on a steep growth trajectory for years to come.
But the Guyanese economy has grown at an average of nearly 40% over the last 4 or 5 years. And we are projected to continue to grow at rates that will see us over this decade, over the decade from 2021 to 2030, growing at an average of about 25% over the decade per annum. The International Monetary Fund continues to project Guyana as having amongst the highest rates of economic growth around the world and the highest in the Western Hemisphere in the immediate years ahead.
While the oil and gas sector remains a major driver of growth, Dr. Singh stressed that the benefits are spilling over into other key industries, including tourism, logistics, and services. The government's policy focus, he said, is to build a diversified and globally competitive non-oil economy that ensures long-term sustainability. Looking ahead, Dr. Singh highlighted Guyana's strategic potential as a regional food hub, linking the Caribbean with northern Brazil and the wider South American continent.
Because we see Guyana as not only a producer of agricultural products and agro-processed products for trade with the Caribbean and the rest of the world, but we also see Guyana as the point through which northern Brazil and the rest of South America might better be able to trade with the Caribbean and onwards.
Dr. Singh's remarks come as Guyana continues to attract international attention for its rapid transformation, a pace of development the IMF itself describes as virtually unmatched anywhere in the world. For the newsroom, Lizzie Yearwood.
When the newsroom returns, Walron speaks about her agenda for the Guyana Police Force, and we hear from a pastor using technology to spread the gospel. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. 1 month into her new role as Minister of Home Affairs, Honor Walron is setting a clear agenda for change, one built on accountability, trust and modernization across Guyana's security sector. From reforming the Guyana police force to advancing digitization and legislative updates, Walron says her mission is to make citizens feel safer and more confident in those who serve and protect them. Sharda Bacchus has more.
Minister of Home Affairs Unij Waldron top priority is building a police force that is accountable to the people and trusted by the public. Since taking office, she has met with the leadership and ranks of the police, defense, prison and fire services, setting a clear tone of professionalism and integrity.
It's been a month and still a short time. Immediately, I can say some top priorities. One, the building out a police force, leadership of a police force that is accountable to the people, continues to understand that that's their role, that zero tolerance to issues like corruption and mistreatment of members of the public, and all with an effort to build back public trust in the force. I have said to the leadership as we've interacted and we've spoken that the authority of this uniform that they wear is undermined when people don't trust you, when they don't feel that they can rely on you. Then policing becomes extremely difficult.
During an exclusive interview with the newsroom, Waldron said when citizens have confidence in the police, communities become safer and law enforcement more effective. Drawing on her background as a magistrate, where she presided in the juvenile court, Waldron said she remains passionate about rehabilitation, particularly for young offenders.
Juvenile issues is one that is near and dear to my heart, where juveniles are not seen, as those juveniles who come in contact with the law are not seen, whether as offenders or as victims, are not inalterably changed for the worse as a result of that contact, but that they are able to lead normal lives. I believe that law and legislation treats with the social ills that we're dealing with.
The minister also outlined a legislative agenda that includes a new Prison Act, amendments to traffic laws for stricter penalties, and the implementation of the CARICOM arrest warrant bill. These, she said, are part of wider efforts to modernize Guyana's justice system and address emerging social challenges. Waldron added that digitization is a key pillar of reform, one aimed at improving efficiency and reducing bias in public services like passport processing and birth registration.
So digitization services across the sectors, this Smart City program helping with crime detection, crime protection through use of technology, the evaluation through the use of technology of the fire service and prison. So digitization is a big priority, and because we can see the impact it will have on the efficient delivery of services to our people and delivery of a secure communities for our people as well. The using technology for police accountability, wearing the body cams. When the police on the road, they wear their body cams, they're able, all kinds of infractions on the road, including traffic infractions, are being recorded. And when the police go through it, people may think that they get away with something, but they don't. A ticket will end up at their door. But it's all part and parcel of the whole ecosystem of making citizens feel safe and secure. So much so that we have already started to see a decline in serious crime. Now what we are seeing an increase in is domestic crime. And this speaks to why data collection and monitoring and evaluation is so important, which is that something we've also implemented in our police force. tell us where the hot spots are. Where in around the city, around the country, are the places that are more likely for crime, and so your crime prevention is more targeted.
Waldron said public safety and citizen security remains at the heart of her ministry's work. She assured that the government is committed to ensuring every Guyanese can live securely, knowing that the joint services are working every day to protect and serve. Reporting for the newsroom, Sharda Bacchus.
With 40 years of faith service, Pastor Terence Ezebum believes the use of technology to spread the gospel has proved effective. In an interview with the newsroom, the pastor said, remaining faithful to his service at the Light of Lights New Testament Church of God, Norton Street, Georgetown, was driven by his passion for teaching. The pastor, who's also a lecturer by profession, said that over the years he has learned to embrace changes but maintained his faith while encouraging others to do the same.
I have been the pastor of this church for the last 40 years. I was saved at this church. I passed through all the phases of my life, from 18 to now, in this church, as a member, as a youth leader. Then at one time I was the assistant pastor, and I've been pastoring since the 1st of September 1985. I got married on the 29th of June 1985, and I started pastoring here from the 1st of September 1985. So most of my life has been right here. So I was the worship leader, I was the musician, I used to sweep the church, I used to do almost everything I used to do. And then gradually people started coming, and so, you shed off some things. I don't have to sweep church, I don't have to lead, worship, I don't have to play no instruments. We got people to do that now, right? But in the initial phases, it was tough. So how you deal with people's problems, and that is a gifting that pastors have, to deal with issues, to see people through the various phases of life. The Bible refers to it like the body, the human body. And the human body, each part has its specific function. So if you know your function, then the eye is simply there to see. The eyes don't speak, right? And so once you know what your role is, then you try and excel in that role. For me, I think we embraced the dual system. You might have, let us say, 75 instruments on the Zoom. But it doesn't mean 75 persons are watching at you. Because sometimes 3-4 persons are on the one, looking at the one screen, right? So I think that's a good thing too. Some people who wouldn't traditionally come to church would stay on the Zoom. Oh, my wife is Vanessa Esibon. That's my wife. We started right here. She part of the church here with me. I have 2 children. Trenacia Esibon, she sings, and Trevon, he is my musician, right? So, I got it much easier because the family, right? And that's the next thing. If you don't have your family, if your family don't believe in you, why should other people's family believe in you?
28 families from regions 3 and 4 are celebrating a fresh start with the keys to their brand new core homes, part of the government's ongoing efforts to provide safe and affordable housing for vulnerable families. Here's more from Sharda Bacchus.
I feel so comfortable. I have any more problem at nobody house or anything. I'm so happy I have my house to move in. I used to live in Sophia at my sister, and me, she had a problem. I take my money and do the downstairs, but me, she had a problem. I had to move out. I was living over the river, and they sell the place, so I moved over back, and I had a friend with all my things there. Got a friend, tell me Sunday somewhere else too. So we glad that this place done, that we could get to move into.
Next we have That was Sharon Shepherd. She is one of the 20th persons who received the keys to her new home on Tuesday. The keys were handed over by Minister of Housing Colin Crowell and Minister within the Ministry of Housing Vanessa Ben. Each house is valued approximately $5 million and is built under the Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program
funded by the Inter-American Development Bank. It features 2 bedrooms, a kitchen area, and washroom facilities. To date, 176 families have benefited from the program, which targets low-income households from communities across the east and west banks of Demerara and the East Coast Corridor.
So we are celebrating what goes beyond just a simple handing over. We are witnessing the handing over of hope, the handing over of an opportunity and dignity. Some place that you can call your home, your own space. That's what you're celebrating. When we came into office in 2015, we made it clear as a government, and deliberately too, of a commitment that every Guyanese must have access to adequate housing. To go with that, improve living conditions, no matter person's background, their income, or their circumstance. So no one is left behind. So housing is not a luxury. For us, it's a right. It's a fundamental right.
Beneficiaries were selected during the program's open application phase, which has since concluded. They are required to provide $100,000 toward the construction.
It's really nice having your own place. I am happy. It's just me and my 2 sons. It would be a tremendous change because we would be having our own little cozy home. So I am happy about it. And I know they too would be happy.
Ben encouraged the families to take pride in maintaining their new homes. As the government continues to expand housing opportunities across the country, these families now have not just a home, but a foundation for a better life. Reporting for the newsroom, Sharda Bacchus.
Guyana's fishing sector has undergone massive changes with the implementation of technology to monitor fishing boats, a progression that has made surveillance simpler. Randy Bombari, a fisheries officer at the Ministry of Agriculture, on Wednesday said the ministry has adopted the vessel monitoring system to improve the sector. In 2024, the ministry procured artisanal vessel monitoring devices aimed at enhancing the security of fishing activities within Guyana's borders.
Within the artisanal sector, we currently have 150 vessels that have been equipped with first tracking devices. We have another 100 that will be equipped with more tracking devices. There we utilize the pelagic data services for that particular management, but we also have within the industrial sector all of the vessels. So we have, as usual, is normally licensed. We have 28 vessels licensed for this particular period, and all of those vessels have on board a vessel monitoring device. We have not reached the full potential of what fisheries in Guyana can be. We are limited to the coastline, and which means there are more vast waters to be utilized. For most persons, there have been studies that have been done in the 1950s, 60s, that have shown that Guyana has some extensive small levels of corals that can be found further out. Fishers, as of the past, have been bringing up small or medium-sized lobsters, which is a demonstration that there's a different potential out there.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport news. Stay with us. Welcome back to the newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting off with some cricket news. A strong contingent of 6 Guyanese players was selected in the recent draft for the 9th edition of the Abu Dhabi T10. The group is headed by West Indies mainstays, including hard-hitting middle-order batsman Shimron Hetmyer, explosive all-rounder Sharfane Rutherford, the powerful Romario Shepherd, and left-arm spinner Gudakesh Moti. The most compelling story from the Guyanese draft picks is the inclusion of emerging all-rounder Quentin Sampson. Sampson, a softball and tape ball cricket circuit graduate, is beginning to make inroads in lucrative franchise world. His selection comes after he was named the emerging player of the Caribbean Premier League 2025. Along with Sampson, a franchise also snapped up left-arm spin option Ashmid Ned. The Guyana Football Federation Elite League is concluding its 7th season with unprecedented digital success, recording over 40 million content views across social media platforms. The league has also attracted significant interest locally, with a total attendance of 23,000 spectators across the season ahead of the final match day on Saturday. The competition heads into its final with 2 fixtures remaining, though the title has already been sealed. Slingers Football Club, already crowned champions, will look to complete an unbeaten season when they face the Guyana Defence Force. In the other match, then Amstel will take on Guyana Police Force Football Club. Both decisive matches will be played at the National Training Facility starting at 18:30 hours.
This year, President Ford told me he wanted something different, something fresh, and he wanted us to really present football in a unique way to Guyana. So we decided to make some adjustments with the marketing, and I mean, it worked. Over 40 million content views online, 40 million. Over 23,000 patrons, fans have come out to our game so far over the last 6-month period. You're talking about amazing content coming out with players, with clubs, and yeah, it's a phenomenal experience. And it's all about creating this bridge to professional football in Guyana. The Elite League stands as the top tier of football right now in Guyana, and we want to revolutionize how clubs operate, how players are recognized and everything, and this is that stepping stone. How are we going to be helping and supporting them developing their marketing efforts? This is a multi-tier system that we're working on, a multi-year system also, and this season, season 7, is about developing the baseline for framework, because a lot of people say that, you know, football is popular. Now you actually have numbers popular local sport in Guyana. Actual physical, well, not physical, but actual numbers, statistically relevant numbers showing that. And we're also showing clubs that this is how you go about creating content for your club's development, attract sponsors and everything. You call a couple of clubs. Slingers is phenomenal. You have GDF and Police, they're phenomenal. You know, Fruit to Conquerors, of course, they're doing a great job. And it's all about showing them how to capture players, how to showcase the content, how to figure out the visualization of the statistics of the players' development, how to showcase the heart and the identity of these clubs.
Guyana has been drawn alongside host Honduras, Bermuda, and Suriname in a challenging group for the 2026 CONCACAF Under-17 qualifiers. The draw determines the region's path to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, with only the 8 group winners from this stage advancing to the global tournament. Guyana will be based in Honduras for the preliminary round from February 3 to 12, 2026. The competition, which involves 34 CONCACAF member associations, employs a single round-robin format across 8 groups. The stakes are exceptionally high, as only the winner of each group will secure one of the 8 spots for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. The West Indies women's senior squad has commenced an intensive 8-week training camp in Antigua, marking the start of their preparation for the demanding 2026 calendar that culminates in the ICC Women's T20 World Cup in England. Approximately 20 senior squad members gathered on October 20 for the foundational camp, which is designed to build the capacity required to sustain performance across a schedule featuring 6 international tours, 15 ODIs, and a test match. Head coach Shane Dietz underlined the singular importance of this training window, emphasizing that fitness and individual development would be non-negotiable elements in the drive to secure a second T20 World Cup title.
Massive year. You know, the World Cup is probably like the pinnacle for our team. Our last World Cup we got to the semi-final, so yeah, we want to go one better. And obviously we've got 15 ODIs and a test match. So it's going to be a really big year, busy year. So the main area we've got to get right is our strength and conditioning and our team fitness. And we need fast, athletic and robust cricketers who can play the style of cricket we want to play and entertain the crowds, put on a massive show and win lots of games, but also stay fit and healthy through a tough period. We've got a lot of younger players coming in, so their levels of strength and conditioning is not quite where it needs to be, and we've got a lot of older ones we've got to manage through that period. So there's a bit of a mix of different type of players, so we've got to get that right. So, we're ready for a big year to, once our performance and the strength and conditioning side of things is perfect, and also, as I said, be able to last the whole year, the rigours of touring and training every day. The players have got to be real strong and get through all that. The original plan was about 11 or 12. So 8 weeks has still got a lot of opportunity to get players, where we need to get them to be. We did a bit of work before the CPL here in Antigua, and then the girls went and played the WCPL, and now they've done some work on their own, and now they're coming here ready to go for a really tough 8 weeks.
What are some of the key focus areas in these 8 weeks? I know fitness is one, but any other focus areas?
Yeah, the individual skill development's the main focus. I don't get the chance to sit with the players or work with the players over, I've been here 2 years now. Generally, the players with us, our coaching staff, we're trying to learn the techniques and how we want to play and change things during matches. So players are trying to learn to play international cricket, make the right adjustments to be good enough to have their skill levels for international cricket and their strength and conditioning at international cricket while we're still playing. So it's always going to affect the performance and affect that development. So yes, we're not in the current ODI World Cup, but that's a blessing in disguise because we've got a great opportunity for the staff and the players to get together and really focus on specific individual areas for each player to be able to go to that next level, which we need. We need more match winners and players contributing to the success of the team. Obviously, Haley, Deandra, Stefani have probably been the three have contributed the most to our success. And if they don't perform well, we generally haven't performed well as a team, but that's got to change.
The Golf in Every School initiative has expanded to the island of Leguan with the Region 3 Education Department and the Guyana Golf Association introducing the sport across all levels. The expansion saw students and teachers at the nursery, primary and secondary levels and the island receive instruction this week as part of the drive to broaden golf's accessibility across Guyana. GGA President Alim Hussein confirmed the association's long-term commitment and announced that the Westside Golf Course will be available for all Region 3 schools' physical education sessions. The development program will next focus on educators. And with that, we've come to the end of this newscast. On behalf of the news and technical teams, I'm Kurt Campbell saying thank you.